Good evening and welcome to Kini News. An ordinance to combat fake news relating to COVID-19 and the emergency proclamation takes effect from today. And for de facto Law Minister Takiyuddin Hassan, a claim that you have heard often is considered fake news.
Claiming that the government sought an emergency declaration because it lost its majority in Parliament is an offence under the fake news ordinance. This is according to de facto Law Minister Takiyuddin Hassan.
Jadi jelaslah di sini bahawa perkara itu satu perkara yang tak wajar lah sebab kita tahu perkara itu. Yang keduanya, it is an offence. To me, it is an offence. Satu kesalahan.
Takiyuddin was responding to a question on whether critics claiming that the government had sought an emergency declaration because it lost its majority would have violated the fake news ordinance. However, Takiyuddin, together with Communications and Multimedia Minister Saifuddin Abdullah, stressed that under the ordinance, the intent to spread fake news must be proven before an accused is punished. Saifuddin added that the ordinance was specific, covering only COVID-19 and the emergency, and it could be repealed once Parliament convened.
Once Parliament sits again, dia boleh batalkan. Number two, even if the government wants to continue with it, tak boleh. After 6 months, automatically dia batal. So no matter how bad the government is.
Yesterday, it was reported that the federal government had gazetted an ordinance supposedly to combat fake news relating to COVID-19 and the emergency proclamation. The ordinance, which takes effect today, states that perpetrators who spread fake news in writing, videos, audio recordings, or in any other forms that may convey words or ideas will face action. Offenders could face a fine of up to 100,000 ringgit or a 3-year imprisonment term or both. It also grants the courts powers to order the removal of a publication if it is determined to be fake news, failing which the court may order the police or an authorized officer to do so.
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak highlighted an incident today to show why it is important to debate government orders in Parliament.
Former Prime Minister Najib Abdul Razak said the police being forced to issue 10,000 ringgit fines for COVID-19 SOP violations is an example of why government measures should be discussed and approved of in the Dewan Rakyat first. In a Facebook post today, he highlighted an incident where an individual is issued a 10,000 ringgit fine for failing to scan the MySejahtera QR code. He said, the way the emergency ordinance is outlined by the government doesn't distinguish between offences that were unintentional or not serious, such as forgetting to scan MySejahtera or not wearing a face mask, with more serious offences, such as violating mandatory quarantine or crossing state lines without permission. He said the police had to issue a 10,000 ringgit fine, as they did not have the authority to issue a lower amount. Yesterday, Inspector General of Police Abdul Hamid Badar said that police officers must write the 10,000 ringgit prescribed under the emergency ordinance for any offences. However, he said those issued compounds can appeal for a lighter fine at the district health office, and assured that the 10,000 ringgit fine is only meant for repeat offenders.
UMNO veteran Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah believes that PAS is not a trustworthy ally and wants UMNO to go against them in the coming 15th general elections.
UMNO veteran Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah said that PAS are not trustworthy allies and must be defeated in the next general elections. In an interview with the Malaysian Insight, he said PAS's actions in previous by-elections have shown how the party could not be trusted. He brought up the Tanjung Piai by-election, where PAS had been working with UMNO. He said, PAS has about 3,000 members in Tanjung Piai, but not even 1,000 of them voted for UMNO. He claimed that PAS was like a prostitute, going back and forth between DAP and Semangat 46. Razaleigh had founded Semangat 46 after the UMNO 1988 constitutional crisis. He and his team of ousted UMNO leaders in Semangat 46 had forged an alliance with PAS under the Angkatan Perpaduan Ummah banner in the 1990 general election. Tengku Razaleigh also dismissed the idea of partial cooperation between UMNO and PAS in GE15. He said, the party couldn't have half-baked strategies where they accepted three-cornered fights in one area and straight fights in others. He added that he would advocate fighting PAS in the next general election. Meanwhile, Bersatu Information Chief Wan Saiful Wan Jan said Razaleigh had gone overboard with his political prostitute comments against PAS. In a Facebook post, He said the political prostitute label was inappropriate.
Science and Technology Minister Khairi Jamaluddin has asked Inspector General of Police Abdul Hamid Bador not to punish whistleblowers who expose shortcomings in the ongoing COVID-19 vaccination exercise. Coordinating Minister for the National COVID-19 Immunization Programme, Khairi Jamaluddin, has said that he had asked Inspector General Police Abdul Hamid Bador not to punish whistleblowers. Khairi said this in response to a tweet which cited a Bernama report about an ongoing probe into claims that 200 staff of the Kelantan State Secretariat had attempted to, quote, jump the queue to get their COVID-19 vaccines. In a post on Twitter, Khairi said that he had not revealed the identities of any of the whistleblowers who had emailed him. He added that some of the information they provided had been used to correct the list of appointments made. Khairi said he did not want to be seen to, nor can he interfere with the work of the police, but he had spoken to the IGP about it since it was an issue of public interest. On Tuesday, Kelantan Police Chief Shafian Mamat said police are expected to record a statement soon from an individual in Putrajaya suspected of spreading the Kelantan queue-jumping claims. This came after a police report was lodged by Muhammad Taufik Ramli, the special officer to the local government, housing and health committee chairman. Muhammad Taufik said that the report was lodged among others to ask the authorities to investigate the individual responsible for spreading fake news like this, as it concerned the integrity of the state government and the Kelantan State Health Department. A PKR youth leader believes that Pakatan Harapan's chances of winning the next general election could improve if they explore cooperation with other parties, and this includes cooperation with UMNO. PKR Youth Vice Chief Said Badli Shah Said Othman said Pakatan Harapan should be open to cooperation with any parties, and this includes UMNO. In a statement today, he said Pakatan Harapan should explore cooperation with others to improve the coalition's chances of winning in the next general election. He added that the political situation always changes, and if the reform agenda championed by Harapan can be accepted by others, it is not impossible for political cooperation to be forged. His statement came following the remarks by Harapan Youth Chief Shazni Munir Muhammad Ithnin that the coalition should not cooperate with those in UMNO facing graft charges. Shazni said that working with leaders on trial for corruption would be akin to turning their back on Harapan's struggles and their supporters. He had also questioned what the coalition would tell the people who had supported and believed in their reform agenda. That's a wrap for this evening. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. Don't forget, you can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube and Facebook to get the latest news updates. If you like what we do, consider supporting the channel by subscribing and clicking on the bell icon so that you never miss another headline again. If you're heading out, don't forget your mask, and when you can, do try to stay home. I'm Daniel Anthony. Thank you for watching and have a pleasant weekend. Stay safe, Malaysia.